graphing a cubic function of the form y equals ax cubed. So here we have a graph, y equals -3/2 x cubed. Remember, what is a cubic graph going to look like? It's going to look something like this, or if it's the negative version, something like this. So make sure you're always comparing your graphs back to the parent functions to make sure they have the same shapes. So let's start with x equals 0 for plugging in. So we would get -3/2 times 0 cubed. 0 cubed is 0, so we're going to get 0. Now let's plug in. It says to plot points with negative x values and 2 points with positive x values. Let's just go ahead and plot -1. -3/2 times -1 cubed equals 0. Well, that becomes -1. So we get -3/2 times -1, which is a positive 3/2. So at -1, we're going to be at 1.5. Now on Alex, it's a little tricky to do in-betweens. So we might want to pick points that are going to give us a little bit nicer values. Let's go ahead and try -2. -3/2 times -2 cubed. Well, -2 cubed is -8. So -3/2 times -8. Well, -8 divided by 2 is -4. So we have -3 times -4, which is a positive 12. So we're going to be at -2, we're going to be all the way up at 12. Now if you were to plug in 1, you would get -3/2. And if you were to plug in 2, you would get -12. And I know that because I know these graphs are symmetric. So let's say Alex is giving you a little bit of a hard time plotting this -3/2 point. Okay? What you can do is you can use some other values to plug in for x, like -2, that would give you a little bit nicer values. You could also plug in 4 or -4, and that would be a little nicer as well. Just make sure you're playing with the numbers and working around any possible fraction issues.